I would like to once repeat few points of the policy. As per the policy, it is a 4-year multidisciplinary study from classes 9 to 12, which will be in 2 phases. And grade 9 and 10 would be the first phase, and grade 11 and 12 would be the second phase, with an option to exit in class 10th and re-enter in class 11th. And as you have said just now, the pedagogical style which was being followed in class 8 up to middle stage, that will be built up for classes 9 onwards with greater depth, greater critical thinking, greater attention to life aspirations, and greater flexibility and student choice, as you have said. My focus today is on the basic question here, that the policy says we have to allow exposure to more subjects and enable greater flexibility. Now, the policy succeeds when every school of the country can give these multidisciplinary study for 4 years, from class 9 to 12. Okay. Let us look at the present scenario. What is happening? Now, in India, there are around 20 boards, and most of the boards follow the curriculum designed by and subject options as per the Central Board of Secondary Education, CBSE. And as per that, for class 9, we have very little option. There is language which is compulsory, and math, science, social. These are the subjects which are mandatory. So the child has very little choice. Only one subject the child can pick up as his or her choice of subject. Okay. And recently from 2015, CBSE has introduced some skill subjects also in this category. Then in class 11th and 12th, we have science stream, commerce stream, humanities stream, and a wide range of subject options are available in the stream in different categories. There is one category, languages, in which we have 38 languages available, with including regional language and also the foreign languages and English, of course. Then there are many core subjects, around 44 core subjects are available here. And the skill subjects are around 38 skill subjects CBSE has given. Now, if you look at this, there are 120 subjects provided by the board. Okay. Now, what is the practical reality? Is every school able to give this many subjects? When we see practically, this is not possible. None of the schools are giving so many subject options to the children. And the new policy says without streams, that is 120 options maybe or maybe more have to be given to the child. So practically, this is a very difficult task. How can the schools manage this? Or how can the schools manage the infrastructure and faculty if only a few students opt a subject? Let us look at an example. For example, if we have these two children aspiring, one of them for a food scientist and other a multilingual animator, the children have their options and they go in search of a school.
Mrs. Varma, can I just request you to that on this screen, yes, you can see this hide option of the mid group for stop sharing and all. So just put the hide. Just click on the hide option over there. Yes. So we can see this slide. Thank you very much. Please go ahead.
So now they are in search of the subjects, in search of a school which will give them all these subjects which they want. Maybe they will find, but that must be very few. They will, most of the time, they may not find one single school giving them the options that they want. So do we expect that the child should compromise with the subjects? Or can we find another way for this? Can we find a solution for this problem? So here comes my recommendation that we can collaborate. The schools can collaborate among themselves. So if they can collaborate, how can they collaborate? For example, we have 10 schools in a town. All these 10 schools can come together. They can plan out, as I said just now, a realistic plan of collaborating. There may be some subjects which most of the students would opt, and there may be few takers would be there on a subject. So the schools can decide on how many subjects each school would give. the subjects that most of the children would opt could be taken by every school. Now it would be the subjects that need number of schools to join, because if there are less children taking up a subject, if 2-3 schools are combining, maybe we can justify the infrastructure facility and also the faculty. And the other advantage is children will have a freedom to choose the subject. It's not only this, it is within 25 kilometers range of a place. All the schools, maybe independent schools, maybe the government schools, they all can form a cluster. They can build clusters, a group of schools, a team of schools, name it, and go ahead with a plan. There are more advantages if we go with collaborative schools. Students definitely will have more options. The infrastructure is justified. The faculty will be justified. It is cost efficient and easy to manage, in fact, and any number of students can take up the subjects. So if we collaborate and divide the task, it multiplies the success of giving multidisciplinary subjects. So first, our aim is to give that many subjects to the children the board is giving. So this is what will be to some extent achievable, and which is as per the aim of the policy, which says equitable access to high quality of education to all the learners. So we are able to achieve that by doing this. And the leaders, the educators have to come forward and put their step and plan out how this can be executed. And we need to realize that now children are the priority, change is the reality, and collaboration is the strategy. So let us get connected, work as teams, and see a better tomorrow. Now, who can collaborate? Who can help us in collaboration? Definitely our higher authorities, the leaders of the country. So the government must bring up schools together, build clusters, build teams of schools, emphasize on building teams. And this is where Hiram sir was saying that we need to go for leadership programs. The government has to bring up some new leadership programs where we can train the leaders for multi-school management. So the leaders play a very important role here. They play an important role in.
Ma'am, here I guess the real importance of these programs, because the current principals or the school leaders, they are trained to manage their own schools. Yes. Or in fact, they are, let's say, expert in managing their own schools. But as you mentioned, here we are not talking about one school, but the cluster of schools in which there can be one school in which there is a French language concentration. Yes. Or there can be Swedish language, or third it can be graded STEAM learning, mathematics can be one sector. Second, school will be good at arts. They have good teachers in the arts faculty. So that means we have to create the schools which are pedagogically focused and the subject focused at the same time, so that the students can choose the subject as they want, and they will have one subject in one school, and maybe they have to choose one subject from some other school as well. Now, in this case, the principal's role or the school principal's role is not just to manage its own timetable, but synchronize it with the others' timetables. So that the end result is that the student who is going to check the 6 different options of the subject, he will not have a clashing timetables. And this is a very important skill set. This requires a lot of collaboration, and that's what actually we have suggestion. That's what you also mentioned, that a leadership should be shared one, and it should be distributed working and by collaboration. Thank you very much. This is the point.
Thank you. Regarding the timetable, sir, that is really going to be a big issue when we have such subject options, because it has to be as per the teacher, as per the number of students, as per the students of different locality. So that would be a total different volume of thing that we need to discuss when we come to timetable. And there is another point that when the schools collaborate, they need to remember one very important thing, that the contribution of every school has to be at par. That is, the accountability for effective delivery of resources is very, very important when we collaborate. Then once the schools are able to collaborate, now we need to count them as one team. And the best performers, the best teams should be rated. That's what I feel, that the best team should be rated, appreciated, accredited on quality education and not on marks now. Because only then, if we don't include marks, the quality education will be much better. One more important aspect which our leaders need to look at, which the government needs to look at, is the parent awareness. Because at present, there is a mindset in India which is very difficult to be changed. We have to begin now for changing the mindset of the parents, that it is not only few particular subjects which will give them success in life. So when we are going to introduce multidisciplinary study, we need to first create awareness for the parents. It is essential that they know that multidisciplinary study is very important. Then we can extend this collaboration to more opportunities. With this virtual online teaching being a regular feature in the school nowadays, we can make it as a good tool for collaboration. So the collaboration need not be in one place. It can extend further. So students can study from experts in the field, not only in India, from other countries also. Schools can collaborate with professional colleges for expert guidance, and collaboration can be extended to companies for hands-on and internship in actual workplaces. I would like to add an example here. For example, medical diagnostics is a skill subject at present in class 11th and 12th. Now, if an internship is given to a child, 15 days internship in a pathology lab or where this is applied, it would give a real work culture experience for the child. So collaboration can be applied to institutions also. Not only that, a child who is interested in animation could be given a 15 days advanced study in an animation institute, so that the child will be able to decide whether they would like to continue with the subject, or mental preparation would be there of the child, how to cope up with the challenges which are coming ahead. Now, who will bring this change? We should not forget our teachers. Definitely, it is our teachers who will bring the change. And no doubt, our teachers have proved their efficiency in adapting to new normal during this lockdown and putting tireless effort in keeping children engaged in learning process. So the policy fails if we do not have good facilitators. Hence, it is important to know how teachers can make multidisciplinary study a success. Now, here I would like to focus on the point that teachers should be torchbearers of their subject. They should be creative in guiding students. They should be creative in assessing students and creative in analyzing students' capabilities. I wish to give my own example that I took up mathematics as a profession because all through my life, I got excellent mathematics teachers. Whenever I used to see my mathematics teacher, I always felt that I must be like them. So teachers have to be personification of their subject. So I recommend here that teachers must act as creative guide. They should generate interest in the subject. They should be good counselors of their subject. They should not impose opinions on students. Instead, guide them on their capabilities. They should assess students on logical approach and creativity in the subject. They should share subject performance analysis with transparency, giving healthy insights. Teachers must take this as an opportunity, and teachers' role is in inspiring the students, counseling for abilities and capabilities for their subject, create a happy and enjoyable learning environment, giving a real picture of opportunities, and finally empower children to grow into lifelong learners. And I feel they must take this situation as an opportunity. It is a great opportunity for the teachers that they are going to contribute in the evolution of new education system. So they must come forward to take initiatives, to do different things and prove themselves. One good teacher can train 10 more teachers. Teachers can handle more than one subject in some cases. Like, for example, I said multimedia and animation could be handled by a single teacher. Food production and the nutrition dietetics could be handled by a single teacher. Accountancy and finance market management can be handled by a single teacher. Mathematics and applied mathematics can be handled by a single teacher. So the teacher can improve her competencies. Then collaboration among teachers would definitely be a very good opportunity. And teachers must conduct study in education. That's what I feel, that they must initiate to conduct study in the education and or become part of educational research. That to the educational research that will help them to improve the implementation of the system. So the government's role then would be, already a lot of capacity building programs we are having, but providing capacity building programs, creative teaching, experiential learning, subject counseling skills, creative assessment and analysis would be very beneficial. Teachers should also be encouraged for collaboration, to take new initiatives and research which contributes in improving the school system. And the teachers who have achieved higher goals could be given higher opportunities. So finally, I conclude with my recommendations that a healthy culture of collaborative schools is to be built with the sole aim of facilitating best possible education to the children of the country, and teachers to be trained as creative guide, and they can perform educational research to help improve school system. Thank you, sir.